Okay, we're talking with Paul Wood. How you doing this morning, Paul?
Doing well, Tim. How are you?
I'm well. Paul, tell us what you do.
I'm the Director of Technology for Bishop Dunne Catholic School in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, and Paul, you had a presentation a couple of days back about bringing your own technology to campuses. Can you tell us a little bit about that, the 10,000-foot view of that?
Sure. What we do is, one of the things we tried to do anyway was to allow our students to bring their own devices onto the campus after we had gone through a project of upgrading all of our infrastructure and putting wireless on the entire campus.
Okay.
So the students bring their own technology. Most of them are laptop based because we're also e-books at the school. And so that we felt it was real important for a laptop type device. And what it turned out to be was, in some cases, parents upgraded their own device that they were using at home and kind of handed down theirs to their kids, or depending on what grade level, we're 6 through 12, and depending on what grade level, some of the parents bought their children a netbook, and then others bought them something to prepare them to go move into college. If they were upper level, like juniors and seniors, they're already buying them what's going to take them into college as well.
So essentially what your school did was you allowed the students to bring in any kind of device. Did you allow any kind of device, smartphones? Or it had to be a laptop or
no,
a netbook?
it could be an iPad, it can be smartphones, it can be laptops, but the thing we've always recommended is just make sure that they're going to work with the electronic textbooks that we're using. And what that ends up doing is, unfortunately, about the only books that work with the iPad right now are AP textbooks.
Right.
Because they're already doing that on the college level, so the AP books are there. But some of the other books are not there yet, some of the publishers.
Right. And so did you run into any problems with the kids bringing their equipment? Like I would think that kids would try to push the boundaries a little bit and see if they can bring inappropriate material on campus. Did you make them sign anything? Or
we've got a standard AUP with a couple of a little bit of language in there about having their own device there, and if a student were to bring their device and an air card or a MiFi device, we've got one simple line that says we're not responsible for a student using that and going to inappropriate areas. Just a very simple sentence. But the other part of that is they still have to put in our proxy numbers. So the filtration is in effect going through our proxies, but we're still pretty open about what we allow on our network.
So when the students are on your campus, they're using your Wi-Fi. They're going through your filtration system.
Right.
And so, was there any kind of professional or in-service for the parents? Did you do anything with the parents before you allowed this?
We had one meeting with the parents, introduced the whole thing. Well, actually, we've been working on this. This is the third year of leading up to this, and this was the year that we asked them to bring these devices. And what we recommended was, if it's a PC-based laptop, antivirus, updated Windows, and they can bring those by, and we show the kids and we help them go through that process, and we check for the updates on the antivirus and those types of things. And if it's a Mac, obviously we don't have to worry too much about the virus. But then the other recommendation we had, and we talked to the parents about, was no LimeWire and no FrostWire, because just heavily virus-laden sites, music sharing sites.
Not that any kid would ever use anything like LimeWire or anything,
I mean,
especially at Bishop Dunne.
They're all doing things legally and sharing their music in the most appropriate of ways.
Of course. So, what kind of tell us about the success, or has the program worked? Or
All the programs worked very well.
Saved you guys some money?
Well, it saves us money because there was no way we could afford providing a laptop for every student.
Right.
We do have laptops, however, for those students who maybe are economically disadvantaged and do not have the funds. We dismantled 2 cows. We had 2 cows that teachers could check out and take into their classrooms. Had about 20 machines apiece. So we went through all those, kind of cleaned them up, have a base image on those, and it's going to give them word processing, internet access.
Right.
Because all our students have their own student email address, school email address. and then that goes through filters as well, as far as checking for viruses, things of that nature.
So are you giving them like open source, like Open Office, or are you giving Microsoft Office? What?
We're licensed for Microsoft.
Microsoft Office.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you've gone through it for a little while now, a year, I guess. And so what are you going to do to modify? Do you see any changes coming up to your program or your policy or anything like that?
Well, about the only thing we've talked about is maybe segmenting out the wireless into more virtual type LAN, because we haven't done that. They can't hit our servers anyway because we're Novell based.
Right.
So they can't tap in. We don't have Windows servers. But there's been some discussion about, do we need to segment out that area of the network, because parents come on our campus, they also have the opportunity to, we give them the numbers, we show them how to set it up, and they can log into our system and do work while they're waiting for their children to get through with extracurricular.
They can do their students' homework for them while they're waiting.
Some are doing that, so
So you haven't run into any discipline problems per se?
We've had a few from the standpoint they reached. They're trying to do the tunneling to get around the proxies.
Right.
But we've got the company we use is Two Trees Technologies out of Wichita, Kansas. They do our filtering and our email and those things. And then they send me an email anytime they see somebody trying to constantly go through the proxies. I said, can we lock their screen? They said, well, we can't lock their screen, but we can prevent them from going to the internet. So we send all our teachers an email saying, if a student says they can't go to the internet and they pull it up and it's this, looks like this, send them to my office. Well, we had about 10 kids in 2 weeks that tried that, and then the word got out, and then that just dropped off the charts.
So that's cool. So that's a nice technique there.
So they are able to do that, and they do that also if they're trying to go to inappropriate sites. They don't get there, but then they keep trying. Well, let me try this. Let me try that.
Nah.
But they're kids being kids.
Yeah, sure. So you'd recommend this for all schools?
I think it's a great opportunity for us to, a lot of kids do have tech at their house that they're using, but we still do have to look out for the equity issues for those that might have problems.
But if you're allowing the students that have to bring it, then that makes it easier to address the equity issues, I think.
Most definitely.
Hey, Paul Wood, thanks for talking to us. Appreciate it. We're gonna make you even more famous in YAR. Put you up on YouTube.
I appreciate the time.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sam. Take care.